Victoria is on time.
Thanks. Yes, and I'm here again to promote the Orchard Harvest conference, which will happen in Prague in November this year. And you have a chance now to register to be a speaker for this year's conference. I will share some quotes from last year's speaker to make you even want to be more to be a speaker this year. And if you have any question regarding this, don't hesitate to contact us.
And will the speakers have enough time this year?
Yes, if they let me know in time that they need 3 hours for their speech.
At least.
At least, yes. Or a whole day, maybe.
I take the 2 days. I can talk all day long.
Yeah. Now I have experience with that, so I will know for sure. Or maybe if the community wants this, we don't even need other speakers. We can just make a conference for SAP.
And can you come to Redmond instead? This way I don't have to move also.
No.
So sad.
That
Cool. Thank you, Victoria.
Hey, wait.
What?
Victoria, sorry I'm late, but do you have the venue already?
No.
Not yet. We are evaluating a few options now, but we also trying to make a contract with the venue to have a discounted price for the hotel as well.
Okay.
Like last year.
Thank you.
It's Prague. You come to Prague, and then wherever it is, it's close. Small city.
Yeah, the city center, you can reach everything by walking, I think. But we will try to make a good contract with the venue and close to the airport even. So we are working on it.
And if you run, it's even closer. So. Or bike. River. You can swim. Is there a river in Prague?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah, you can swim. Okay.
Yeah, it's even better.
But no S. I put an S. Fine. Yes, not this one. That's not the same. Oh, really? It is just. Yeah. Thanks, Mario. Nice, thank you. Prague, no S. What else? What else do we have? Last week. So let's go back to last week. Last week we had no demos, no topics, and Job said we do 5 sessions, 3 hours each. Then today, do we have demos? So many people, there must be a demo.
Yes. By Zoltan's recommendation, I will be demoing a very incomplete, just kind of a prototype of content tree for hierarchical content.
AI demo update.
AI, dude. Did you watch the build keynote?
Yeah, a little bit of it. The keynote, at least, yeah.
Did you see any AI content there?
No, none. They should call it AI build, not just
Yeah,
Microsoft
build AI.
build.
It was build AI. aka Windows. So we have Mike. No, anyone else? It's okay. Status. What do we have? Home, work, Orchard one. Nothing new, I believe. Nothing new. Orchard core. 13. What? What happened? No way. Let me check. I don't have filters. Oh, yes. 3 more comments. So 13, Mike. Upgrade OpenIddict package. Wow. Why did you do that instead of renovate? Was blocked?
Wanted it quicker.
Okay. Also, there's an issue that we found on the Microsoft Entity project, stating that their version for Net 8 was pointing to a Net 9 package, and they fixed it last week. So now, if it was blocking something, it's not blocked anymore, but it was probably related to OpenIddict. So maybe
Was that the one we had the breaking? It had the like the warning.
Well,
yeah, that's the one.
I think so.
Well, yeah,
because we're
okay.
facing.
Well, if that's the case, we need to probably ship 218 with that.
Also, someone on the private email sent the contact email specifically asked to update image sharp, which has a security vulnerability. So if we ship, then we can bump image sharp also to a new vulnerability, but we don't have to because people can update on their side. So dependency and breaking change. Okay, so OpenIddict updated and renovate at work, updating all the things. Here.
Unfortunately, there's also a breaking change to the AWS SDK that it couldn't upgrade.
What do you mean the breaking change on the
not there. This is just a minor or patch version or even lower. But there's a V4.
Yes, there's a major version which is blocking right now, but needs update in order to take it. It's not. But we need to move and we can at least walk the 0. And then
Don is working on it.
No.
So here you see here this one 391. I pick this one for 8. I think that's the that might not be the one. That might be web something. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, maybe that's the one. No, that's the one I was looking at. No, that's the one. So you see, like, identity model tokens version. So this is the one we are currently using, 890. And 5 days ago, and look at this one, 890. This one, when it targets the Net 8, is using BCL memory version 9, okay, which doesn't really need, and it's also something from 9, which means it's a short support, LTS, short-term support. So, which means in 6 months it won't be supported anymore. So, but this will be supported. So that's weird. So that's wrong. So they should point to an 8.0 version from the runtime. So here, this is what we're using today, and all what we can't update to, but now the new version doesn't depend on that anymore. So that's totally fine. That's the package. Is the issue. And that's the, no, identity model, not identity model. Oh, this one. Yeah, that's the one that now solves everything. Okay, beautiful. And what was the version before? 8.9.0? That's weird. I thought we cannot be this one. Update minor dependency version. Azure identity. Style. And resilience. Okay, then reduce the amount of breaking changes. What kind of PR is that?
It sounds like a great one. We should have more of these for 3.0.
But why was there breaking changes here?
So what happened in one of the releases is that we changed the parameter where it say get async. Currently it takes a string. So we changed the value from a name to an ID. So it's kind of terrible breaking change because some people might not pay attention and then their code wouldn't work and they will be probably like, why is it not finding it? So I reverted that change. So get async still finds by name, which is the previous behavior. But then I obsoleted that method. Instead, I added a method to find by name and then a method that find by ID. This way, at least whoever's upgrading, they don't have to, it's not magic. They'll see that warning, they'll upgrade it, and everybody's happy.
Cool. Ensure that all of our service registration methods are idempotent. We had a discussion right about it a few weeks ago about the difference between try add and add and what would be resolved if you resolve one element versus multiple elements. So here, but maybe it's not related because I see change add scope to add to try add enumerable.
So what this is going to ensure is that, so right now we have helpers that allow us to add, register things. And all these services are enumerable, so meaning we need to register all of them. If we use, like in the case where you have highlighted, if we just add transient, just like that, if someone calls the same helper with the same exact type, it will register it over and over and over.
Okay.
When you use a triad enumerable, it's going to check first if it exists, and if it exists, it's going to ignore it. Otherwise, it will register it. So this will ensure it's been registered only once, no matter how many times you actually call it with the same extension. This is very good for like, drivers, display drivers. If you have two modules that are registering the same display driver for some reason, you don't want to duplicate the behavior in the driver, meaning like you'll have duplicate of the UI. This will ensure it's registered once. So if it's one feature registered it, then that's it.
Okay, so this is not what exactly we talked about last time. We talked about doing try add something. It's called that add enumerable, but that's totally fine still. I mean, that's a different discussion. So that's great. Cool. Thank you. And update Elasticsearch to v9. So that's I don't, where is that coming from here?
That is part of the .NET library.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see
less.
that here. I didn't see that it was in the version 2. Okay, so they changed the name to that. But we said last week or 2 weeks ago, someone, I think at least from Zombic, said that should not use indices.
No, that they
It's not us.
they
It's not us.
relabel
Yeah.
indices to indexes on RUI, but that's part of their library, so you can't really change their
that's
library.
weird.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's funny because we decided to not use that and they use that.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's just for me. Okay. So update to Elasticsearch 9. Good. Not that many changes then, apparently. Okay. Thank you. And that's it. George. How come Mike gets 4 commits and you get nothing? Oh, you got something. Oh, sorry. 13.
Okay.
I skipped.
Haven't had much time.
No, don't worry. I didn't say anything. Look, I skipped the 14. Sorry. I don't know why. So, George, good job. 2 commits. Allow using the site time zone in the timer activity.
He's busy with issues. He's commenting on issues.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And I also making redo PRs multiple times. Allow using the site time zone in the timer activity. It's because it was not. So timer activity at the cron jobs, they were using what? UTC? What were they using?
UTC all the time.
And now there is a boolean. So it's also not able to change by default. It won't use local time, but you can say use local time. In which case it will say let's get the local time and then convert the cron into local time. So when you say star, which means midnight, right? That's what you said on Thursday. Actually, midnight local time, or at least sites time.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you only use stars, it doesn't make any sense, but yes.
Cool. And another commit into one branch fix the sort order GraphQL query, so you backported the fix.
Right.
Antoine updated .NET Core 905. As a reminder, everything that comes from ASP.NET Core is bumped automatically, even if there are no changes, just to get consistent version. But in the runtime, they update the version only if the package changes. Because 2 different teams, 2 different decisions. That goes on. Kind of fun. And that's all. Job everybody. What I changed, but something changed. Cool. Demo time. Let's start with Mark because he was first.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and share my screen.
It's the content tree.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
So just a quick overview of what the content tree is for. It is a way to manage content, kind of like a file system. This is present in some other CMSs. The like just immediate goal is to be able to manage your content kind of like you would a file system. Whereas right now, as we see it, it's a list. Any content item, you just see a specific type. listed out, whereas this would allow you to organize it more in a file structure. And additionally, there are stretch goals to maybe even modify how the renderer works so that you can kind of have child content rendered within kind of the equivalent of like placeholder views. But that again is like way down the road. Really, the primary goal here is being able to create content from this page, just manage it all in one place. And as you like click through these, you can just go right to the edit page, looking at how you've structured it. I know that we have taxonomies in Orchard Core. However, I just didn't really see a way to tie those in to hierarchically structure them and reorganize, because at that point you have one taxonomy per page at that point. And also I wanted to tie this into the index so that we can have more performant loading of groups of pages for that down the road kind of rendering long stretch goal. This is a demo, like this is, a lot of this is mocked up. Really, this just selecting the pages and rendering it out is the only real functionality. I've still been working on trying to figure out how to reuse the edit page so that we can edit pages from the old existing edit template or a view that's available to us. However, I don't know if that's possible because it kind of depends on the whole page server-side rendering to load, so I just haven't found a way to do that as a partial. And kind of an aside, if anyone takes any interest in this project, I would love some input as just kind of how to structure it, just to consult, and maybe eventually put this into the contrib branch if that's desired. I will dig into the backend now just briefly and just go over how we index it. So I added an indexer. It's basically the same as the existing content item index, and I have a to-do kind of noting in here. It'd be ideal if we could just update the existing indexer, but my knowledge of SQL is so primitive, I'm not sure whether that's a reasonable ask. But the primary goal of having it in the indexer is we have these cache paths and we can efficiently query and load hierarchical data without having to do a full SQL request, something that's going to be a little bit quicker. Let's see. The parent part is very simple. It's the primary component that allows us to enable hierarchy on a given content type. Just has a reference to what is its parent, it keeps track of its cache path and also the position within amongst those other siblings. So every time that you change the parent or add a new child under a parent, this position would get reevaluated just so that we can render that content in a specific order so that these children are in a certain order. Right now, there's nothing too sophisticated on that and you can't really modify it, but eventually you'll be able to drag and drop and move these around and order it as you would a file system. And then I guess the last thing to go over is just how the feature is implemented. It's just a very simple, it's either enabled or it is not. Let's see, should be down under here. So content tree, enable it from here. There's no additional configuration on the module itself. Once you've enabled it, you go into your content type that you want to add it to. Right now we have it on page. So you just add a parent content type. Right now you do have to go into it and just make sure it's set to show so that the field shows up. This is not the primary place that you would set the parent, but it's just a way to currently test this. Parent would be primarily set through this hierarchy page where you can move things around and change what their parents would be. But just for testing right now, there is a drop down to change what the parent is. I think that's the bulk of it. Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Just some thoughts. For the grouping, where you have a child and parent,
The grouping at which part?
Lost my mic, you are muted, or and muted again. I see you unmute and then mute. Unmuted.
someone is messing with me. Somebody doesn't want me to talk.
Not me.
So I think the parent and the child, I don't know, whatever you guys heard, I have no idea, but like page 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, those are children under page 3. And so, I mean, you might be able to utilize the list part in this case to just regroup them in a way without having to reinvent the wheel. Maybe you can choose a specific editor, but this isn't, you know, it looks like list part. And then also on the rendering part, you might be able to utilize the sidebar placement or content, placement, but placeholder or zone is that the word. So if you use the sidebar zone, there is I don't think anybody use it. It goes on the right side, so you'll have the menu on the right side. You could potentially, make a change or you could shift to the left side, but
Everybody wants to use it. Oh, sorry, everybody wants you not to use it.
Yeah, so that's another thing that you could utilize here.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm just curious, and if we want to talk further on this, because I know we may have limited time in the meeting, but I'd love to pick your brain on kind of what that would look like in a larger scope for the rendering, whether that list part does the same thing, like as far as indexing as well. I imagine it would, but yeah, that seems very interesting. I'd like to explore that.
It does try it. It has also sorting and
you
ordering.
Don't want it. Here, I assume the goal of this thing is to organize your content, not to render the sub items when you click on one item. Right?
Yeah, right now the early goal is to just structure.
Yes.
And eventually maybe render.
Then that's the list. If it's render, it's the list. And you have one item that is a list of other items. But in the content tree, this list might appear anywhere as a sub item, as a parent item, or whatever. For me, the content hierarchy is just organizing things logically between each other. Like I could have, I don't know, a news page, and then under I might have some different kind of news, but they are not in the same page as the news page. They are different pages. It's just that they are organized in like, oh, there is a main news page and sub news page, but when I click on the news page, I don't see the sub news page. It's another page that shows me the sub news page. I don't. Maybe that's what.
And that could have implications for the URL route as well if it's auto-generated. Perhaps if you have I know there's already a blogs component, but just to kind of illustrate the idea, you might have two different blogs, and you may put an article underneath one of them, and then you move that to, say you have blog A and blog B, and those have their own route. If you move one of those blog content items to a different overall blog, then it would change that route that goes to it. But that could be, for any number of things, so that you can structure your URLs relative to their parents.
But I could see that someone doesn't want that, because if they just use the hierarchy to organize their content, not their URLs, then they will say, hey, why did you change my URL now? People can't find my old page because I moved it in a different section, like not interesting things. I don't know.
The way that Kaneko handled that, it would allow the new generated route to work, but it would create what are called aliases. So you could have multiple routes to the same piece of content. So the old route would still work. But I'm not sure if I'd want to bring that functionality over, because I mean that in its own thing is just a completely new paradigm that may or may not be desired in Orchard Core.
That can be part of these hierarchy things. Like when you move stuff, it says, oh, I record the old URL, so it still works, but the new official one is the new one. Again, depends on what that hierarchy means for you. Does it show the site, the pages hierarchy, like in terms of URLs, organization of content, or if it's just like in OneNote? I know in OneNote I use sections and subsections, pages. It's just to organize the concepts, not. Yeah, you mentioned stuff here like what's an indexer?
Oh, so I know that the way that we fetch content in Orchard Core, and again, I built this on a weekend like months ago, so my memory of how all of this came together is a bit fuzzy. But I know that the content item index is involved in the service for fetching content. So I just want to make sure that when we fetched children of a parent item, that it had some kind of index, so that it would be a performant query.
Yeah, sure. But then if you say that you store some parent things like this, and that the item itself knows about it, I don't know. Maybe that's, yeah, maybe you could have index for that. It depends on your part. And then we mentioned that you made a part. And,
yes, parent part.
And Mike mentioned that also, which is we have parts like this already, like the parent relationship. There is a part like this. There is something called the list part, which says I own children, and you can have children owning other children.
Contained part.
And then we have the contained part, which defines the child to parent relationship, like which is what you just made here. So contained part in Orchard is something that has an order and a list content item ID, meaning what's the parent, but for us, it's a list.
And that's music to my ears, because if I don't have to maintain this parent part, that's fantastic.
Yes and no, but maybe it's different because the list, what we made for list is a block. Like it's really a content item that owns others, which looks like what you did. Like you can't have one content item under two parents, right? And that's what we did with list and contained. But we also just show list and provide editors for lists for a single level. Like, so when you would then click, we don't display a tree, but that could be done this way, right? We could also have a custom view that says, oh, you can display list, and if the child is a list, then render a tree in the end, right, Mike? There is nothing that prevents us from having a view like this. But also,
I don't know if this would change things too much, but any parent part can belong to any content item, so you can have any content type.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Content type.
Yeah, so the list is really as a type, so.
And siblings could be mixed types as well.
So you want a different thing, that is more logical and not as constrained as a list, which is fine too. Like sometimes you want constrained things, and sometimes you want free things. Okay.
And you also might be able to utilize like a content picker, or you can just point one to a child and.
I was thinking about a hierarchy picker, because when you are in a content item, any content item, you might want to say, move this content item to this hierarchy, and where in the hierarchy, right? Because at the beginning, unless you say everything is in the hierarchy, and then it's just at the root level by default, and then you can move it around. If you don't have this logic that everything is in the hierarchy, then you need to be able to attach a content item to the hierarchy and use the content picker, or to use the hierarchy picker, I would say in this case, to add it to a hierarchy. Or maybe you want two hierarchies, right? Like one showing this kind of content, maybe that's a content type, like a hierarchy, and then you can attach things to hierarchies and then move them around. And maybe the same content item in two different hierarchies, but then the URL, I don't know, maybe it will have two URLs. Fun. I don't know.
I struggled with that part because Keniko, you can only have one hierarchy root. So I really like the idea of being able to have multiple roots, since it's not tightly coupled with the concept of the root level of the front-facing part of the website. So in a perfect world, I think it'd be nice to maintain the multiple roots behavior.
Yeah, so this could be a different part, unless we have that, but like to store the different routes. Because an item has one route, the canonical URL, but then we might have others that match the same content item for me. Okay. About the placement of the hierarchy, yes, like Mike, I don't think it should go on the left there. I don't think it should go on the right either. I would rather see it on the left, like where you put your hierarchy icon under content or hierarchy here and see dynamically this thing appear. And that's what Bertrand did, right, in Orchard 1 with the content tree. It's called the content tree module in Orchard 1. So maybe you should also look into how it's done in Orchard 1. There was for sure a demo online. So if I will ask the people with memory like Gabor or Antoine if they remember, or maybe you can search that what meeting was presented, but there was a demo about the content tree in Orchard 1, which is exactly what you're doing.
You also have to be careful if you do that. That's going to get hit every single request. And imagine the content items being loaded every single request.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying just be careful doing it because you don't want to sacrifice performance.
Yeah, we had the same issue in Orchard 1, but I think Bertrand did that like dynamically. So level by level so it will not, or there can be also caching or whatever.
Yep.
But
this one does not load the children until you actually ask it to. It's dynamic.
Another solution, Mike, is like the hierarchy on the top left. When you click, then you get a page here, like it's done here, to display the hierarchy. But just that, the same way we have the list part, right? So when we go to the blog page, then we see the list of blogs and of blog posts. Sorry. So the same way here, you could say you could have the hierarchy be a content item, and when you click on it, you see on this page a tree of the things. And then when you click on the item, then you get to the editor. And it's not like you always see the hierarchy somewhere. That's why you want the sidebar. I see it, like, because you want to be able to navigate, to browse live. It's hard, or maybe it should be a sliding pane on the right or somewhere. But
I do like the idea of kind of hiding this part, because the idea, one of the central concepts here is that maybe as a content manager, you may not care about any of the other parts of this site. You really just want to create your pages, make them related to each other, and just update content. And this is 90% of what you'll ever do in Orchard Core as a content manager. And so just kind of having this as like, I don't want to say a one-stop shop, but the central area where you manage content would be kind of an ideal purpose for it.
Like the content items page right now that we have. But
yes, be kind of like this, but you have a, like when you're trying to edit, you're navigating, you don't have the context of the other content items, which may not be relevant. It's not something that it's just another way of approaching it. Because I mean, this works, it's functional. It's just for people that came from, say Kaneko in my case, just having everything kind of available to you and relational is just a very familiar way of approaching it. And I think there's a way to apply this without stepping too far outside of the paradigm that Orchard Core presents. But I do agree with you, like having this collapsed and this is like the primary sidebar would be very, very nice.
Or you just do a page showing the hierarchy, like the content items page. And that will be an easy thing to do first for a first step. And then when you exactly like the content items page, it's just displayed as a hierarchy and there's no paging, it's just dynamically loaded. That would work. That would be super easy to implement and provide the first stopgap to have the feature. And don't change the editors to behave differently first. Yeah. Cool.
There's a lot of great ideas. I appreciate everyone's feedback. I may be reaching out to some of you all again just because I have not been taking notes this whole time, and I kind of wish I had. So I'm looking forward to and kind of excited to extending this with these recommendations. So thank you, everyone.
So Zoltan, the content tree from Bertrand was actually for Orchard Core.
Just there's an issue about having the same thing for Orchard Core, where Bertrand also linked his module, but that's a photo for now.
But there was no module. Okay. So we almost have a demo somewhere, a video showing what he did for Orchard One.
I think yes. I couldn't really find it, but yeah, that was a very long time ago, so we didn't have that level of tagging and proper descriptions and whatnot for the videos. That would allow us to find it. I couldn't really find it.
Okay, Mike, next. Thank you, Mark.
Yep, thank you, Mark. All right, you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So this is just an update about the AI suite that I've been working on. If you're not familiar with it, you haven't tried it, maybe it's a good time to try it. If you look at Microsoft AI bill, it's all AI. So it's all AI. Sooner or later, every app out there will have AI included in some sort of fashion. If you are using Orchard Core project, this is the project to start it with. There's a lot of integration, lots of good stuff. If you like this project, share it, star it, let everybody know about it, because that's how I will keep going and updating it. You'll see a lot of features. So one thing that was click and subscribe, as Sebastian said, yes, except he's not. He doesn't have subscription. He doesn't subscribe. So anyway, so one of the things that I just want to talk about is I made some changes. So previously, we had a way to add Azure Search AI Search as a data source to search data against, and it was kind of coupled with it. So now I kind of abstracted things away so we can have more than one data source. So we don't have to have only Azure, but you can have other sources. So I kind of split things out. So now there is a function for data sources that you can enable. And by enable that, it will allow you to manage data sources. There's multiple implementations here that we can pick from. So this is the Azure AI Search powered data source. This is the one that originally I had, but I also added Elasticsearch powered data source, and then MongoDB. So you can actually have your data stored in Elastic or MongoDB, and then you'll be able to search against it. So how it all works is under here, under the artificial intelligence tab, you'll have data sources. And if you click on data sources, you can manage your data sources. As you can see, everything is UI. So here you could, the reason why I have all three here is because I have all three features enabled just so I can demo it. But you can click on any of these and just add the source. As you can see here, I created two sources. One of them is in Azure OpenAI, and then one of them is in Elastic. And if you just click on it, it has nothing here. It's just an index. You still need to utilize our indexing feature to create your indexes. So this is where you manage your Elastic indexes, and here's where you can manage your Azure AI indexes. So you can add all the indexes here, which will manage all the data for you. And in here, you can just say, hey, I want that data source to be available for me if I want to use it. And then the way how you connect the dots is by creating a profile. So a profile is where you can just create a profile that allow you, and you can see with whichever provider you want, you'll be able to create a profile, and then you'll be able to attach anything you want to it. So in this case, click on. So if you click on Azure OpenAI with your data right here, and you click it, now you'll be able to see data sources here, and then you'll be able to select which data source you want to search against. For the purpose of this demo, because I don't want to do this, I've done it many, many times to save time. You'll see here I created a profile that's called Orchard Core Docs ES Elasticsearch. And then here you can ask questions like how to label. Oops, my caps lock is on. And this will search the data that is located in my Elasticsearch index. As you can see here, this data is coming from Elastic, and there's references as well. So anyway, so this is just a way to connect your data to your AI, and this will, allow you to just pull the data so you can search against your data. This is a powerful feature if you don't have a use case, like if you're building a knowledge base, or if you have a customer that has data and they want to search against their data, like a manual or company policies and things like that. This is a great way to do to store the data and be able to search against it. Again, everything is UI. Everything has a UI. Data, sources have a UI now. Profiles have everything here. You'll see have a UI. So anyway, so that's all the update I have for AI this week. Questions, comments?
So when do you integrate AI Foundry?
When? I don't know. I guess when I have time.
Because it looks like it does way more things that you could imagine, and what you've done so far, like automatic stuff. So this morning they showed how you can create an agent and just say, "Oh, here is my doc," and now you can ask questions, and it has like memory, so you can just go into this instance and then do what you did. So it has all these storage and everything already integrated with the API in the portal.
Yeah, so the only difference there is that they have a UI that allow you to create basically profile on the fly, basically plug in everything you want instead of having to save it. But the fact that, profiles, in this case, you can share these profiles with others and have it for everyone. But yes, that would be definitely a UI at some point where you can create, in addition to profile is, hey, I want to create, I want to have a UI where I can just say, hey, here's the data sources I want you to use now. Here's the functions that I want you to use now. And then, and it will just work immediately, and you can change all the parameters. That is something definitely on the plan, but I don't have a use case for it right now, and but eventually that is going to happen because we have everything else. We have also, I don't know if I have it here, but we have functions. I forgot what is that feature called. There's MCP clients, and then we have the Orchard the agent. So you can enable all these functions. Right now, we can enable them by presetting the capabilities. So you can also have all that being part of, be able to just add them to whatever chat session you want. So you can say, I want these functions to be available, and then you'll be able to do that. But this is, at this point, it's just a UI because all the functionality exists. It's just a matter of having a UI to say, I just want to do it right now, and then I don't care about saving it as a profile.
Okay. What else do we have? Topics, questions? Nothing? Okay, so we'll do triage on Thursday. Like usual. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, yep.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.